They present the popular radio program Political Platform on the Ray Power FM network. Ray Power FM Political Platform, now on television. Keep track of the country's polity and be part of the process as they discuss and put political developments in the country into perspective. It's Ray Power Political Platform.
Hello out there, and thanks for joining us on Political Platform. And we want to thank those who have been following us on all our various platforms, on radio, on AIT Abuja by 6 p.m. and then on our YouTube channel. And more importantly, those who have been able to download the app, the Ray Power app, to listen to Ray Power on the go, anywhere you are, where you are able to download the Ray Power app on the Google Play Store, and you are able to follow us even with your handset, and that is what is actually particularly exciting. And it becomes more exciting when we get your mails through politicalplatform@yahoo.com, and we are able to share your views, and you tell us exactly how you feel about some of the situations, about some of the situation around the comments and the opinion and your suggestions on how we can better move Nigeria forward. All of them serve to improve the quality of the programming, and we are indeed grateful that you are all part of this celebration of democracy that we have on the program. I am Okiri Agbonsuremi. Now, the step has been taken. The federal government says 3 airports will go under concessioning. This morning, we'll be talking about federal institutions, state institutions, government institutions, those companies that were concessioned before, those that were on PPP, the one that you build, operate, and transfer under the arrangement of the private partnership with government. And we see how they have gone. And this road we are going with 3 airports that are to be concessioned. What have we done with those institutions that were concessioned before? Did we get any good results? Do we have any good standing, better moral or legal, to begin another road when those roads that were left behind by successive governments in the past have not been cleaned up with regard to concessioning? And who are those who will be given the opportunity to run these public enterprises, or who will take them after the concessioning? Those are some of the challenges. Then we'll take a look at some federal institutions that seem to be doing well, even after they have been concessioned. It's not all bad stories. We have some hospitals in Abuja here that were given to private hands to manage. The Garki Hospital, for instance, is managed very well. Everybody will go to that place, and you see the quality of service. And then there are federal institutions that are working. I don't know if you have been to the Federal Staff Medical Center in Abuja here. I wouldn't know how the woman there is running the place, but it is one that even those who are around, who are interested in having the government agencies work well, to go to that Federal Staff Medical Center and see what those who are running that place, what they are doing to make it as efficient as if it is not a Nigerian project. We'll be talking about some of these things, and all with a view to finding solutions and moving us forward in the areas of managing public institutions. Adebayo Bodurin is here with me. Adebayo Bodurin, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Professor Wole Soyinka joined the debate yesterday. He said what Nigeria needs is not restructuring.
He came up with a new vocabulary yesterday.
Reconfiguration. And when you reconfigure an object, you know it takes a different shape. But
so what is the difference between restructuring and reconfiguration?
Reconfiguration from reconfiguration implies you take an object and it takes a different shape, different form, and that is what he is saying. I just want to touch on one issue that happened yesterday. Briefly, yes, that brought into the fore once again the plight of Nigerians. Schools resumed across the country yesterday, and there were so many pathetic stories in so many schools in Abuja. Most of the private schools seems to have, maybe there was a meeting, they resolved that once it's 100% payment on resumption, and so many parents were being sent home. Small kids were being sent home because they could not pay. And then there was what seems to be an exodus from public schools into private school. What is the reason?
Okay.
Because of the standard of education in their schools and the non-payment of teacher salaries.
Mustafa Mohammed, the Ibadan meeting is vibrating around Nigeria. We hear that some leaders did not, or some groups did not, are planning a meeting.
Yes, an October General Conference, and we are still trying to
who are those?
We're trying to get the details of those who are organizing and those who are involved. We just got the information this morning, but we also hope and pray that the meeting, when it happens, will come out with a formidable position that will be, very viable and advantageous.
So far we have the Yoruba speak, and they are looking at the 1960-1963 constitution, the regional government type. That was a parliamentary system. I wouldn't know if they are going to be an amendment. And the Southeast says, them. Yeah, the Southeast says yes. The South says yes. The Midwest, they actually attended that program, and they said they went as an observer, and they also said yes to it. So when we have the Middle Belt, I don't know if we have a monolithic north now.
Here, that is impossible. The kind of monolithic north died with the deaths of Sardauna and Tafawa Balewa. All other things in the name of whether it's Arewa Consultative Forum or Northern Unity, it's a mere deception, because you have people from the Northwest dominating the entire North and the federal appointment and employment or whatever in the name of the North. And then you have more than 200 different ethnic groups from the North. People, their eyes are open now. It's not going to be a walkover. So there has to be a definition.
Wonderful. Well, Ijoma Osamo, let's drive to Anambra, the elections. We have all the gladiators. Somebody is, one year is, when you saw if I saw his face on TV yesterday, it was not a very, it was, how did they go yesterday?
Well, I think we are still waiting for their findings. Yesterday,
they said there was a petition written and they have invited
from Andy Uba, and they invited the both of them, and some of them were there too. And if you look at what happened yesterday, I think the political parties are beginning to practice democracy, because today PDP will also have their own committee set up because Uba also petitioned, and the former Minister of Aviation, she also petitioned. So they will be sitting today at 11 o'clock, just like the APC sat yesterday, to listen to everybody's concerns and petitions. Yes. So what is actually happening is to make sure that people are satisfied. They don't go into the polls with a divided house. All right.
And Amechi Anakwe is also here. Amechi, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Hiria. When Abodure was talking of the school resumption yesterday, my mind immediately went to Ghana, where the president, John Atamius, made an election promise that if elected, secondary schools in Ghana will be free. And he has started the implementation. Joining primary school that are free. Now, it tells you that indeed, if they can, though there are some doubts over whether
they can fund it,
and what about, he believes that they can do it. Now, we see a situation where public schools in Ghana, University of Lagos, Ghana, so many of them are having thousands of Nigerians moving into that place. It tells you there's a way they manage their institutions. I don't know what our problem is, whether it's the issue of federal character that will enthrone mediocrity and
mediocrity and incompetence,
sacrifice merit at the end of it all. How is it that some institutions are being run better than others in Nigeria? Maybe we have to do a study of this particular institution to see the similarities that exist in them, with a view to indeed taking them elsewhere. If they can do free education at secondary school level, then those in Nigeria must begin to ask themselves questions.
And Ehiedu Anyago is still in Abuja and is joining us. Ehiedu, running federal institutions, government institutions, is a challenge.
Our brothers in the southwest, the Yorubas, have captured it long time ago when they said, Obetodu Uwolokba, good soup is a product of good money. You cannot go to India and buy a tuk-tuk, according to one professor, and then expect it to behave like a Mercedes-Benz. You recall when NITE was very much around, we were always interested, where is the MD from? Is he from the north? Is he from the south? Today, Ohira, if I ask you who is the MD of MTN, MD of
MD
of Nine Mobile, you are no longer interested, but yet you are using their services and it's serving you. What we need is to ensure that we privatize a number of these enterprises, and when we do, the monies will be available for government to create more jobs.
And
the money will be available for government to also deal with these facilities that we don't have. It's penny wise, pound foolish. You say government must continue to provide your welfare, yet you buy a vehicle, your vehicles die the next day because the roads are bad. All we need to do is take away this load from government, and then we begin to now get the monies and employment. The number of persons that are working in these telecom industry companies is more than 10 times the number of persons that were working in Niger. And today we are making more money without having to lose money as a government. Nigerians must accept that this idea of looking for free and going back from the back door to operate socialism as a system of government or communism is no longer is not going to work. Even in our families, we don't even practice socialism. People contribute to making the good soup.
Let's go to our mailbox where we have your own comments, your contributions, and your advice on some of the sundry developments on the Nigerian political environment.
You're welcome to the mail segment. I am Etenikan Akepu.
And I'm Ifeyin Wanwobi. Welcome.
And we begin with a reaction to yesterday's program, and this is coming from Amechi Obochi in Kubwa, Abuja. It says, after listening to Shedrack Akaloku, your guest on the program yesterday, I simply asked myself, is Nigeria actually ready to move forward as a country? If the answer is yes, why didn't President Buhari look the direction of this young man throughout the 6 months he waited for capable hands? That is those to be appointed into his cabinet to help him move the country forward. Anyway, it is not too late, but if Buhari must write his name in real gold in Nigeria, he must move away from 2019 elections, tribal, religious and party lines to bring in people who have the required knowledge and experience. Should he muster the political will to think out with his cabinet, as the country is presently making little or no effort in moving forward?
More on State of the Nation, Edwin Abutu from Maraba in Nasarawa State says, on the 17th of January 2017, President Muhammad Buhari wrote to the Senate clearing David Babashe Lawal of any wrongdoing after the Senate Ad Hoc Committee on Humanitarian Crisis in the Northeast indicted him of breaking the law of the land. The same president made a U-turn and suspended the then SGF and set up a committee headed by the Vice President Yemi Oshibajo to investigate Babashe Lawal and Ayodele Oke, former DG NIA. The report waited for the president to return from medical vacation, and fortunately the president returned. What is stopping President Buhari from telling Nigerians the content of the report? Is this report going to end up like other reports? Please tell President Buhari his so-called integrity is hanging on a balance. Justice delayed is justice denied.
That will be it for the mail segment today. Keep your mails coming. Send them to politicalplatform@yahoo.com.
Busted!
They present the popular radio program Political Platform on the Ray Power FM network. Ray Power FM Political Platform, now on television. Keep track of the country's polity and be part of the process as they discuss and put political developments in the country into perspective. It's Ray Power Political Platform on AIT Abuja.
Thank you so much, and continue to send your mails and your thoughts, your suggestions. Indeed, those thoughts and suggestions are those things that the government and those who are in authority implementing policies of government need to indeed get us on a fast lane of development. Well, we said yesterday that we were going to take our time to look out for experts who will come and tell us why the police should not explain to us what is wrong with implementing Section 34 of the Police Act, which empowers the police to collect money from those who need police services. If you go to the police and tell them you are organizing an Owambe party and you need policemen around you, they will charge you money. It is legal. Section 34 of the Police Act says they should charge money.
Or if you're a bank.
If you are a bank and you want police escort. If you are an oil company, you need. If you are a company, you need money. If you are a big man and you need a police escort, there are rules that the police will ask you to follow, get a vehicle, they will inspect and be sure that the vehicle is okay. They give you men to follow you, but you pay for it. Now, over the years, where is the money? That is the question that is on ground. We want to find out how the money is shared, because the policemen who are on that assignment are supposed to get allowance from that money, apart from their salaries.
A third of the amount.
A third of the amount.
We're told.
Then the part of the money will go to the police reward fund. The police reward fund is a fund set up by the police. Of course, when you say reward fund, we know what we are talking about. So many of the police men die in active service. They don't need to go beg state governments to come and give them money to attend to the families of. It's part of the insurance that they have. Then the other one, we are told, the third part should go to the federation account. A senator has said all those monies end up in the pockets of senior officers. And they said up to 10 billion is collected every month, an aggregate of all those who collect the money. And that if those monies are appropriated adequately, and the National Assembly can say, take the money and give it back to the police so that they can have equipment, we'll have a very good force. And the argument arose as a result of a bill in the National Assembly, which is seeking to create a fund for the police so that they can work well. And a senator has told us. But what we have heard from the police is throw him out. The man is a deserter. The man is not, he has his birthdays in doubt. He's still a member of the force. Nothing concrete has come from the hierarchy of the police. And all Nigerians who are paying this money, they are all keeping quiet. And all of us continue to pay this money. And it's something that we need to continue to talk about.
That's what you call conspiracy of silence.
Ohiria, if you were dreaming and then it occurred to you that the police is not implementing that particular section of the law, I would recommend that you go back and sleep again and change the course of your dream, because they are very much aware of that provisions and they are indeed implementing it. The man is very, very correct. What you ask is police should go and begin to bring out that money, or the federal government should indeed create a fund where they need to pay in that money, because it's been implemented.
No, it's been said.
I know quite well, because to some extent,
you are involved.
As an entrepreneur, I know that a few of the businesses where I've had calls to engage the service of the police. I know for one policeman, you pay 10 naira weekly.
10 naira.
Yes, with 10 naira, 10,000 weekly. You also give that policeman 7,000 naira weekly. That's about 17,000 naira. So you know that's for just one policeman. And so total lead for those who are doing parties, those are the banks, the ones that have money to pay
and oil companies.
Yes, much bigger. So you really need to.
Or those who have them on a permanent basis.
Yes. So anybody who tells you that that money is not being paid, they really know that the man was correct.
All right. It is not our subject today, because we don't want to divert our attention. We want to mention it, and we'll continue to mention it until somebody somewhere would rise up to the occasion and support the National Assembly in its quest to get these monies into federal government purse. The Inspector General of Police has kept quiet as if nothing has happened. All the Commissioner of Police across Nigeria, they are keeping quiet. They line up their pockets with this money. That is what
the anti-corruption agencies.
That's what the senator said. Nobody has disputed that. The anti-corruption agencies are keeping quiet because they themselves are drawn from the police. And of course, everybody contributed, including the church. Immediately after the program the other day, a pastor called me in Abuja to say, I am the man in charge of security in our church. We have 10 policemen every Sunday, and we pay 10,000 naira, and then we send 10,000 to the DPO. That's what he told me. And I believe if I call him back, he can come on air here because he's a man of God. But when men of God contribute to this corruption that is going on inadvertently and are forced to do it because they don't have a choice, then we need to do something about it. Let us look at federal institutions. The airport are being concessioned. And the question we have asked severally on this program, many of the questions we have asked border on how we have concessioned public institutions in the past, and what did we get out of them?
Well, let me start my intervention from this point of view. I was one of those who demonstrated on the streets as a labor unionist then, when we felt our national assets.
When Aluta was still around.
Yes, when our national assets were being auctioned. That's the way we capture it then, were being auctioned, handed over to so many people. Some of those public assets, some of those public companies that were then privatized or commercialized where are they today? Where is Okoiboku? Where are all those ones that raise hope of our conserving our meager foreign exchange?
The aluminum smelter company in
Ikorabasi.
They are all gone.
They are Jakuta.
They are all gone. So the totality of it is that if we want to concession, there must be transparency. There must be accountability. There must be effective oversight and monitoring of those companies that we are running. Not a situation that you hand over a company to, a government asset to an individual, and then there is no way of monitoring whether he's effectively managing it, because we have seen others that have led into decay.
Now, Amechi, do we have any record? Do we have anything to fall back on? Is there any single one, like what they told us in the Bible when the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah was imminent, and had this,
show me one righteous
person,
and I will spare the entire nation. Well, we may have, just like we mentioned the efficient management of a federal staff clinic. But the issue is that what the government is doing is that they transfer monopoly from public to a private interest. And what is that private interest? It's not the best private interest. It is the relatives, cronies, and associates of those in power. For instance, if the government wants to concession Lagos and Abuja airports, and there's a PDP man who has an international experience in aviation sector and terminal building management, can he get? Is it possible? It's not in the Nigerian context. Elsewhere, where these things are done, they are done based on objective criteria. It's not who you are or where you're from or who you know. Is your technical capacity and competence. I would prefer a situation where government will open up sectors, not just like they did in the electricity sector, transferred monopoly to private interests. And these interests were those in power. Just look at those behind the Discos and Gencos.
They are all PDP.
They are all PDP people, and there's no doubt about it. They sold it to themselves. Now, if the APC government does this, the same thing will still continue on. So we want to open up the sector, introduce competition. Instead of saying, let's build and concession, open it up. If you want to build, come on board. Send in your application, we'll evaluate it. Look at MMA2. MMA2 was built, own and operate. From nowhere, the private investors put their resources. They didn't look for any terminal building to manage. They went directly into the business because they had the competence.
Now, when you talk about competencies, and then you look at the politics in it, that's where the problem is. Mustafa Mohammed, I think the ghost of the political engagement that we have is actually the problem. And Amechi has said it. If it is PDP that is in power, they will not look in the direction of anybody with an APC color for anything. They believe that they should not touch them, even if they are the most competent. If it is APC, it is almost... Can we go across this?
That's why when you have local government elections, the ruling party in the state definitely wins by 100%. But let me tell you something. You cannot trust the Nigerian politician. What happened during the emergency renovation of the Abuja Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport? Nigerians were crying to know the detail and the actual cost of the work that took place. It took several days for the ministry to come out and mention a figure. Even with that, Nigerians are not certain that that airport has actually engulfed that amount of money on these runways that were alleged to have been built. What happened to the emergency repairs of the Abuja Kaduna highway? Over 1 billion spent. Have
you passed that road recently now?
Yes, like 3-4 times. And then the road has failed
back to Egypt. Yeah.
Exactly. So now, if government wants to concession this airport, I would rather have, new investors, not politically exposed, coming in to bid and compete to get this thing. During the PDP era, we saw the same thing like Amechi said. And I'm definitely sure this will repeat itself, except the powers that be, the players, including government officials and those who are manning the ministry, are stopped from participating.
Now, but many Nigerians who have not stolen because they have not had opportunity to steal. If you give a Nigerian an opportunity, or many Nigerians opportunity, there are a few who would stand up. We have seen them. We have seen Balarabe Musa in Kaduna. I've been to his house and I said, was this man a governor? I've been to Ikere Ekiti where I went to the house of the former governor.
Olomilua.
I went there and I was looking for the house. And the Okada who was in my front in front of my car, they told me this is the house. I said, it's not true. Please take me to Olumilua's house. He said, this is the place. And he came out of the balcony to say, I'm here. And I went in. Look, there are few Nigerians who have demonstrated capacity in using their mind positively. But there are so many other Nigerians, if not more, who will not. Is it not systemic? Because when we are saying that government officials are corrupt, they are not. They are Nigerians. It's just like saying that the policeman is corrupt when we know that they are all our brothers. When you say a journalist is corrupt, he collects brown envelope. Are the journalists not our brothers? Are they not in Nigeria?
Ohiria, I told you earlier that you cannot go to India, buy a tuk-tuk, and then you bring it and expect it to behave like a Mercedes-Benz. When you get to a place where somebody is working with the computer and you are looking at the screen, it's a beautiful screen. That is a product of the back end, the software that's inside that system. When it comes to time of election, who do we elect? He said that we elected a particular person because he's a party man, or because he's from our own region,
or he has spent our money,
or because somebody had campaigned about him to us. When somebody stands up and you know he has a capability, but because he doesn't have the money, you don't elect him. So why are we talking only about our leaders? Who produce these leaders? You recall about the art policeman who in 2001, when the police went on strike under Musliu Smith, that I told you that when I asked him, they said there are a lot of bad eggs in the police. He said, for you to have bad egg, there must be a bad hen. That the bad hen produces the bad egg. So we, indeed, the society, we are the bad hen that produces bad eggs that we call politicians. After all, there have been shining examples. If you recall, the state of Akwa Ibom in 2007, and what it is today, everybody wants to say, want to go Uyo Stadium. Uyo Stadium is not a tree that was planted and decided to grow. Somebody decided to think.
Had to
think. Yeah. That today, most people would say, let us go to Uyo, let us go to Uyo. It is not by magic. It is constructive thinking. So we need leaders who can also think and possibly take us out of the woods.
Well, it's not one issue that we'll trash out. Well, let's wait. We'll monitor what is happening with the concessioning that is proposed. We don't have much of the details yet. We'll monitor it and see how it's going to turn around our airport, where the lights will be on 24 hours, and where people can land and have a lot of excitement. Stay in the airport for 5-6 hours, even sleep at the airport, like I have done many times outside, and you don't feel that you are actually traveling. Okiria Agbonsoremi here. Let's have your mails through political platform at yahoo.com.
Bust it.